Look
at that.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that right over us
What
right
is
now?
that?
Is that smoke or something? Oh my goodness.
Is that a
Look
tornado?
At that.
Looks like it's a transfer.
It's a tornado.
Tornado here in Salt Lake City.
It was a normal summer afternoon in Salt Lake City. Quiet, warm, and deceptively calm. Clouds hung low but harmless. The kind of gray sky Utahns are used to seeing without thinking twice. Nothing about that morning suggested that downtown Salt Lake City was minutes away from one of the most destructive natural disasters in state history. But at 12:45 p.m., everything changed. Why tornadoes are rare in Utah?
The thunderstorm that we had here in Salt Lake City occurred in a different way. The rotation begins near the ground.
Utah isn't built for tornadoes. The state's high elevation, dry air, and mountain ranges break up the organized, rotating thunderstorms that fuel classic tornado outbreaks in places like Oklahoma or Kansas. That's why Utah only averages about 2 tornadoes a year, and almost none of them reach F2 strength.
A moment of what are you going to do in this second, to save your life?
Something to hold on to, as the twister sent bricks and shards of glass flying all around them.
What makes Utah even more unusual is the way its tornadoes form. Instead of rotation starting high in the storm and working downward, like a typical Midwest supercell, Utah storms sometimes rotate from the ground upward, pulled into the cloud by a developing updraft. This ground-up development is extremely rare for a tornado of this strength, and it makes the earliest stages harder to recognize on radar or by visual cues.
Still, a quarter century later, the Salt Lake City tornado remains the most destructive in state history.
Most Utah tornadoes are tiny, short-lived whirlwinds, often just tens of feet wide, lasting only seconds. They almost never resemble the massive, mile-wide funnels seen on the Great Plains, which is exactly why, on August 11, 1999, most people assumed Utah simply didn't get tornadoes at all. The unlikely setup.
911. Stop screaming. Listen to what's wrong? There's a tornado.
But that afternoon, the atmosphere created a rare combination that almost never happens in northern Utah.
Has gone through downtown Salt Lake. It has ripped the roof off the Delta Center.
Oh my goodness.
My God, it's right across the street. I can't breathe.
A cold upper-level trough drifted in from Nevada, while warm southerly valley winds pushed northward. Classic ingredients for instability. Breezes off the Great Salt Lake formed a convergence zone, locking warm and cool air together and creating the lift needed for rapid storm growth.
But it has gone clear across just to the east of the Triad Center, across the parking lot.
The most crucial part?
It started just southwest of the Delta Center. It has ripped the roof off the Delta Center.
The storm developed incredibly fast, faster than typical radar systems could warn for. According to researchers analyzing the original Doppler data, the storm did not exist at 12 o'clock, began forming at 12:15, showed rotation at 12:30, and produced a tornado at 12:40.
From there, the tornado dissipated.
That's only 25 minutes from formation to funnel, an extremely short window for meteorologists or residents to react. Standard Doppler radar struggled to see the tornado clearly because of how quickly it formed and how low the rotation was at first. Only the recently built FAA terminal radar, located near the Great Salt Lake, captured the tornado's formation clearly, and even that wasn't yet connected to the National Weather Service on the day of the storm. To residents and meteorologists alike, there were no typical warning signs, just a hail burst, some gusty winds, and then a fully formed tornado already inside the city. The tornado forms.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Is that right over us
What
right
is
now?
that?
Is that smoke or something? Oh my goodness.
Is that a
Look
tornado?
At that.
Just after 12:40 p.m., the storm over the northern Salt Lake Valley intensified dramatically. Rotation near the ground tightened, and the tornado built upward, pulling itself into the cloud base rather than dropping down from it. What looked on time-lapse like a funnel descending was, in slow motion, the exact opposite. The tornado started on the ground and rose upward. This unusual bottom-up structure is one of the reasons the tornado appeared suddenly and without much lead time.
Seriously? Maybe get in the car, dude.
Yeah, get in the car, dudes.
Once fully developed, the tornado moved into the heart of downtown Salt Lake City with F2 winds exceeding 113 to 157 miles per hour. From there, it carved a path through high-rise buildings, construction sites, Capitol Hill, Memory Grove, and the avenues. An uphill journey of over 1,000 feet in elevation that even veteran meteorologists said they had never seen before. Downtown Salt Lake City was directly in its crosshairs. Iconic footage, downtown Delta Center. This tornado was unlike anything Utah had experienced. It tore straight through the metropolitan core, something almost unheard of in U.S. history at the time. According to the National Weather Service, it was the first major tornado ever recorded to strike buildings nearly 500 feet tall in a large urban downtown. As the funnel cut across the skyline, cameras captured unforgettable scenes.
Hey, over there, right there.
This is your video you
This
saw.
is his.
This is what you saw.
This is just standing out when we were just...
Debris swirling between high-rises.
Ripped apart, sending blinding flashes of light from the downtown area.
Glass ripping from the windows of the Delta Center.
Next up, the tornado traveled right over the top of the Vivint Smart Home Arena, which was then the Delta Center.
The roof of the Delta Center is tearing away. Outdoor retailer convention tents are collapsing instantly.
The Outdoor Retailers Convention had set up massive temporary structures along South Temple near 200 West when the tornado struck.
The Wyndham Hotel's windows exploding outward, raining shards onto the streets. A crane at the LDS Conference Center, still under construction, snapped and toppled.
I'm on the 9th floor of the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, and here we go.
The orange flash seen in footage wasn't lightning. It was an electrical substation exploding as the tornado shredded power lines across the city. Destruction in the avenues. After tearing through downtown, the tornado surged uphill into the avenues, a path that climbed more than 1,000 feet in elevation, something tornadoes rarely do.
Says call your agent tonight or tomorrow, but don't worry too much. He says the majority of homeowners' policies will cover tornado damage.
Over 500 trees were ripped out of the ground. The historic Memory Grove Park was nearly leveled.
When the tornado rolled out of the grove, it entered the avenues, a residential area.
More than 150 homes in the avenues lost roofs.
At 500 West and 1st South, its destructive force was in full gear.
34 houses were left uninhabitable.
Roll up the window!
Cars were tossed. Power was cut across Capitol Hill and much of the surrounding neighborhoods. The human impact.
Roofs, leaving dozens of homes uninhabitable.
People running for cover in every direction.
So we ran across the street.
The tornado was on the ground for only about 10 minutes, but its impact was massive. Across downtown Capitol Hill and the avenues, dozens of people were injured, several of them seriously, as debris, collapsing structures, and flying glass moved through the city with little warning.
Didn't have time to get inside. I kind of dove in the corner back here. I was out on the patio and...
Entire neighborhoods were affected. Hundreds of homes and buildings suffered damage, from shattered windows and torn-off roofs to complete structural failures.
So they started knocking on doors where we would see a lot of roof damage and other debris around the area.
In the hardest hit areas, streets were buried under uprooted trees, snapped utility poles, overturned vehicles, and scattered debris.
Don't you think we should go downstairs?
Oh my God.
When the assessments were complete, the tornado had caused over $170 million in total damage, making it the most destructive severe weather event in Utah's modern history. The emotional shock lasted much longer. Residents described hearing people scream, "Tornado!" as trees snapped and roofing metal spun overhead. Some only escaped by clinging to whatever they could grab. Aftermath. How Salt Lake City changed.
Now it was time to see what happened. Randall Carlisle stated the damage assessment that day.
Tornadoes aren't supposed to touch down in Utah, but one did.
In the days after cleanup crews filled the streets, the avenues looked like a war zone. Uprooted trees, shattered homes, families picking through debris. Months later, some residents were still rebuilding, still healing, still trying to make sense of what happened. For many Utahns, the tornado shattered a long-held belief. It can't happen here.
300 buildings were damaged or destroyed. There was more than $170 million in damage.
After 1999, Utah's approach to severe weather changed. Forecasting awareness increased. Reporting accuracy improved. The public became more educated about tornado risks, even in a state where they're considered rare. Final question. Could it happen again? The 1999 tornado wasn't a fluke. Utah does get tornadoes, far more than people realize. Conditions like those in August 1999 are unusual, but not impossible. And with the atmosphere warming and populations growing, the chances of a future urban tornado, while still low, are not zero. So the question remains, could Salt Lake City see another tornado like 1999? Meteorologists say yes, rare, but absolutely possible. And that's what makes August 11th, 1999, a day Salt Lake City will never forget.